All right, so you guys saw first we were doing just the coordination with the bike off. The movement of body position forward for suspension compression, body position back with the suspension rebound, and also timing that with throttle on, throttle off, clutch in, clutch out. There's a lot going on. It takes so much coordination to get this right. Just the movement with the bike off is that drive forward, throttle on, front brake in, clutches in. As you snap back with the rebound, throttle comes off, then the clutch comes out. Just getting it to the point where it's instinct with the bike off is very important. And I think a lot of guys would just skip that step and go right into it. And I'm not gonna lie, we already had somebody whiskey throttle, and that shows that they weren't 100% with the bike off. As soon as you turn the bike on, it suddenly matters. And when it matters, everyone reverts back to their level of training. And not everyone has it dialed in. This is a very hard drill. Then, with the bike on, it is literally the exact same movement, but the stakes are much higher because the bike is running. Commonly what we're seeing guys do is they drive their weight forward, and then as they snap back, they turn the throttle on and release the clutch. This is the common mistake that everybody makes. They revert back to steady feet of throttle and clutch together, and that makes it really tough. If you're giving a steady feed of throttle and clutch at the same time when you snap your weight back with the rebound of the suspension, you are going to run the risk of whiskey throttling or wheeling over. Whereas if you're using collection, creating that power, collecting the power with the clutch, you're going to find a much more efficient lift, safer lift, a more tractable lift, a better lift in every way, and that's going to get you dialed in for your double blip. That's what we're doing. You can see it's challenging. All these guys are working hard. It takes time. That's the biggest thing. You got to be patient. You got to put in the time, and it will pay off in the long run. So you have to have that right placement of the front tire. Well, the only way you can find that right placement is with a consistent front tire lift. The only way you can find a consistent front tire lift every single time is by using collection, not direct power of throttle. See what we're doing here? How we're breaking this down? So that's why we're breaking it down in very, very small steps, because this is so important for everything that you guys want to learn. The other side of this is consistency, traction, and safety. Again, you're turning the throttle off when you're snapping your weight back. That right there is going to make you safer. That understanding is so key, right? So now what we're going to do is the exact same thing that you just did, but with the bike running, okay? The goal here is to put one foot on the ground, do the same suspension compression rebound movement, and find the exact same on-off out-in sound that you guys were just working. This time the front tire is coming into the air. Okay, we want to get a little bit of a lift of that front tire. You're going to be doing it 1 foot on the ground. The shorter riders can use a log or a side hill to practice it on, just so you can, get a little leverage over your bike. Real quick, before we start, I want everybody to try this. Put your foot on the rear brake. Everybody got their foot good and tight on the rear brake. The goal here is to drive our weight forward, get suspension compression, maintain the pressure on the rear brake, snap our hips back while still maintaining constant pressure on the rear brake and getting the front tire into the air. If you feel like your bike's rolling back, it's probably because you're releasing your rear brake. Most guys will snap back and they lift their foot like that. You gotta press through the whole entire time. For right now, you can, you're gonna do that in a minute. But just do rear brake. We're just trying to find what it feels like, the timing of that front suspension compression. Good. Drive it in. If you need to find, step on a side hill if you need to. That way you can kind of leverage through the ground to help get your front tire into the air. See, one awesome thing about riding trials is you really learn about how to react with the front suspension compression and rebound. And that's a big timing thing. I mean, I'm sure you've seen, Ian, a lot of people struggle to get front tire hops right because you have to learn the timing of that front tire or that front suspension. You kind of use it kind of like a pogo stick if you've ever pogo sticked before. You have to kind of time that rebound of the suspension with your body position. That's what you're doing to find an efficient lift when you're doing a clutch up. So just practicing it like this is a good idea. And then as you get better, and like I said, if you're a trials rider, you practice front end hops. And you can see the movement here is the same as a double blip when I do those front end hops. Right? That movement is the same. So learning how to do that is very important. Being able to just do it 1 foot on the ground is that first step. Okay, now, this is the thing that you guys are going to do. That's the base. First, you got to get that dialed in. Same exact thing that you just did with the bike off. We're trying to find that same sound, okay? Okay. 1 foot on the ground. You can use a log if you're a little shorter. You can also use a side hill or a bank. Those will all work really well to give you a little more leverage over the bike. The key piece to this drill is do not revert back to delivering throttle and releasing the clutch at the same time. Here's the thing. I find that the beginner riders, the guys who are a little more green, maybe you're not as confident as the other guys, they have an easier time getting this right compared to the guys who are very good. Because the guys who are good, most of the time when they get their front tire into the air, they throttle and clutch. So they're stuck in that habit of delivery and feed together. Whereas we are using collection, okay? The way you can tell if you're doing it right is you are on with the throttle when the weight is forward. You are off with the throttle when the weight is back. You will see a few riders with their weight back and the throttle on. Maybe they have the control to not kill themselves, which, you know, is fine. That's good. It's a form of control. But we also want to have the other form, the collection, right? So real quick, notice where the power is being delivered. I'm forward, the throttle is on. As I come back, the throttle is off, okay? Okay? See where I'm forward and the bike's on? Okay? We are still doing on, off, out, in.
So when you're here, everything's on, and then you release and pop, are you going back when you pop the clutch? Or when you let go of it?
Yes, I'm going back when I release the clutch to assist the front tire into the air. This is also like, this is a brand new bike. I know it doesn't look it, but I've rode it literally 4 times, counting yesterday. But do you guys see this? I'm really hard on plastics there. I'm really hard on stickers. Because when I do that clutch up, and this is what we're gonna do eventually here, you're snapping that weight back with the release of the clutch. Out. And then it's back in as you're still back, right? Because you want to keep that clutch back in so you're not wheeling over. Yes. So the snap back, you can see what my knees do. See how those knees drag back on almost the fat part of the bike, right? Like the rear, whatever that's called, number plate. That makes sense. So once again, huh? Yeah. So that's why that knee back thing that we've been working on is really important as well, right? Because my knees are going into a locked position as I snap back here, but we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. First, we got to get it 1 foot on the ground. We're here, drive forward. You can use your rear brake if you want, but as soon as you snap back, you have to release the rear brake and then reapply if you want as well. We're here. Make sure you're delivering the power here as you're forward and collecting the power as you come back. One more time. You can see I'm off the throttle when I come back. Look at that throttle hand. That makes sense? We're turning the throttle off as we come back. That's what we're looking for. Okay? Not only is it safer, so it's two things, right? It's yes, bring the clutch back in, but also when I'm back, the throttle is off. So technically you're getting two forms of safety, right? You're giving yourself double redundancies here. You're making sure that you're not gonna whiskey throttle because the throttle's off anyway, and even if you do, the clutch comes back in. So you can give it all the piss in the world, it ain't gonna go nowhere unless you let it, right? Every whiskey throttle is lack of clutch control. Because as soon as you roll on the power, if you just pull the clutch in, you ain't going nowhere. But you let it go somewhere. And that's just that thing that happens. You know, it's like not having those developed clutch skills ends up putting you in dire straits. Okay. Remember what I said? If you're a little shorter, you can use a side hill, a bank, a log. It's all the same. Make sure you don't revert back to delivery as you snap back. You can just put 1 foot on the log. Make sense? Same sound that we're looking for, isn't it? Got to get that first. You guys have done a good job on that. Now we're starting to add in a little bit more. If you want, before you even do it, practice this. That's what I'm doing. Okay? Practice the movement. Get it so it's instinct. Then start the bike. Okay? Everybody spread out. Give yourself some space. Please be safe.
That's tough, man. That's really, I just know intuitively. So I'm not sure where the brake comes into play.
Right at the beginning. Brake is at the same sign as the throttle. On, off, on, off, on.
I'm letting go of that brake. Yeah. Wow. So,
It's hard. You got it though. You know. Yep.
right?
Back.
And I'm going to let go. while I release
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So on, compressing.
Yep.
Let
Off.
go.
Yes. That's it.
Okay. I'm just going to stay here.
I like that. Do that.
Thanks.
Over and over and over. Just practice that. There you go.
Is that right?
Good job, man. Oh, that wasn't it. That you held it on after. Do you see the difference there?
I do.
You're coming back and you're off the throttle. It's back. Not back. Oop, too early. So see that? You're throttling to get the front tire up, and I want to see you throttle off, clutch in, out. See what I'm saying? Your clutch is at the right time, but I want the throttle to be earlier. Ooh, see that? You're throttling to get the front tire up. Still. Yeah, there you go, and then chop it as you come back. Chop it as you come back. Oop, you used throttle. There, that was closer, but still chop it. Forward, on, off, off. On, off. There you go. That's closer. That's closer. Keep working that. Try to get into the habit of turning it off. I have a video of Tony Bow doing a stuff, and he's completely forward, like, you know, it's a big gap between two obstacles. He's stuffed into it, he's loaded, drives his weight forward, turns the throttle off. The tires are still in contact with the obstacle. His throttle is completely off.
All right.
There it is. Told you, it's a real thing. the throttle is completely off before his tires even leave the ground. Then he releases the clutch.
Pretty good, yeah.
Okay, good. What happened?
Did what you told me not to do.
So the drive back and the throttle on, that is what happened. So the best point for you now is, yeah, you whiskey throttled. That should prove to you why it's so much safer to do it throttle off,
I totally
clutch
get it.
out.
I just fucked up, dude.
Are you all right?
Oh, I'm fine. 100%.
It just, they'll get you, huh? Okay, rest up. I'll be back to you, okay? I'll be back to you. Nice. Deeper with the clutch. Out in. On the snap back. Trust that clutch. There you go. Good job, man. Yeah, bro. That's it. That's what we're looking for. Keep working at. Way to be. You've made big strides. Good timing. I like it. Dude, nice job. A little bit deeper on your clutch. I want you to really get into the friction zone. Also, drive forward like this. Come forward. And then really snap back there. Instead of going up, go back with the hips. Nice. There, that's better. The only thing that's holding back, dude, the timing's great. The throttle's good. You're doing the right movement, the right compression. Everything is right. The only thing that's holding you back is your release of the clutch. You're not going deep enough into the friction zone to get it to hook up on the back tire. Okay. So you got to get a little deeper into the friction zone, and it's going to hook really good. You're going to be wheeling really, really easily here.
Okay. Good
timing, dude. Nice job. Way to improve, Eric. Nice job, man. Not bad. There you go. We're looking for a little more snap, a little more yow.
Okay.
Yow. That same snap that you found with the on-off out-in on flat ground. Yeah, dude, you're doing awesome, Eric. Nice job. Keep working it. I think you know what you need to work on.
Yeah.
You know, you just need to find that timing, and also just get deeper into that friction zone. That's the biggest key thing, is how deep you're going into the friction zone.
Yeah, I feel like
even
I'm
think
kinda
about like
snapping
maybe
back.
going out and holding it out a little longer,
Yeah.
then pulling it back
Because I feel like I'm snapping it back.
in. Yep, maybe a little too early.
Yeah.
Good job, Eric. So you're turning the throttle a little too early. I want throttle on when you're forward, throttle off when you're back. Throttle on when you're forward, throttle off when you're back. Yeah. There you go. Drive that weight forward like you're doing. Boom. Yeah, there you go. That's it. Out with the clutch. A little later on the clutch. Nope, too early. Remember, you drive forward. Get that suspension compression. Throttle on, throttle off. There you go. Throttle on. Yeah, there you go. Throttle on, off. Yeah. Clutch needs to be a little later. So the clutch is there. You come forward. The clutch is there. Clutch comes out when you come back. So it's still on, off, out, in. It's still a lot of coordination. Now you've added in more body position, right, which makes it tougher. So make sure you're going forward and the throttle is on. Back, the throttle is off, but the clutch is out simultaneously. Okay, go again. Nice, good. Deeper with the clutch now, okay? Get it out into the friction zone. Not too early, way too early. It's gotta be out when you come back. Out. That was closer, but you're still initiating the clutch release a little bit too early. You really got to get it deep into that friction zone. It's out in, it's quick. Out in. Up too early. See, and that's why it's running away from you. Because you're releasing the clutch so early that it's running away from you. So way later on the clutch, okay? Here we go. Watch that clutch hand. Do it. Out. See, that's how early you were. You were out as soon as your body moved forward. Watch your clutch finger and listen to my voice. I'm gonna say out when you need to go out. Okay, ready? Out. See that how early you are? Okay, good. Out. There you go. That's closer. Good. Yeah. Good. That's good. That is really good. Now think about clutch.
So I'm doing like,
Yeah, that's good. 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 Look at that. Front tire's off the ground. Good timing. If you moved a little faster, that's gonna tighten that release up a little bit, and you're gonna catch more of the back end of the RPM. That makes sense? You're a little late on the clutch release, and I think it's also due to your movement back and forth. So just kind of try to be a little more aggressive with your movement.